So I'm gonna send this out to the peoples to come and
Hello,
join
YouTube. People of YouTube, and also Instagram as well too. Uh, good evening.
Woo!
Good evening.
All
Good
right.
evening. Um, so
I sound like you're doing church announcements.
know how you walk in somebody's house and you have to do a real loud good evening because blacks get really offended when you walk in and don't speak.
If you,
You'd be like,
child, okay.
good evening. Is the mic on? Good evening. So that was my good evening. All right.
Whew.
Thank you for joining us.
Girl.
If you're watching the replay, we'll leave timestamps below in the description box on YouTube. Welcome. We're Black and Curious. I'm Kendrin.
What's up? It is Deja. How y'all doing?
And we're here with our weekly reality recap, even though we've been gone for a month.
Listen,
Are you drinking?
Linda. Girl,
Yeah,
she's having
life was
H2O,
life,
and let me tell you why, okay?
Okay.
Well, before I tell y'all why, are you drinking and what you got?
I am.
What you
What
got?
is it? 5 drinks? I don't know. Girl, it's the what is it? Paloma in a can that I drink sometimes. I'll leave the link down below if I can find it.
Oh, that's lovely. Well, your girl has H2O brought to you by the good sis at Trader Joe's, okay? So I think I have had enough alcohol for the rest of the year. I might be doing a dry December. And
Wow.
girl, let me tell you why. So I'm sure that you might be able to see it. It's a little bit of a shine. So I got a knot right here upon my forehead.
Amen. Mm-hmm.
And having said knot upon my forehead, let me just tell y'all how I got this goddamn knot, okay? So your girl went to DC with the girls for a little girls trip. We had a little brunch in DC at the park at 14th. It was nice, a little music,
Cute.
little ambiance, carrying
Park.
on.
Park movie.
Yes.
Yes.
It was fabulous. So
I have good wings.
Yes, them damn wings was fire, okay?
And also, I'm not a cheese eater, but the macaroni and cheese I actually ate and it was very good. But go ahead.
That was also busting. Yes, it was. So okay, we leave the establishment, and I'm with a friend to the show, Faye.
Okay.
We used to call her Frankie on our old show.
Oh yes.
So we leave and we're continuing the party on because it was also today is the anniversary of my aunt's homegoing. So typically she and I would get together and celebrate her life, and we would have a shot of vodka, right? In honor of my Aunt Michelle. Shout out to you, girl, on the other side. Yes. So in this particular instance, Faye ass was drunk and she was pouring the shots. And instead of pouring shots, she poured glasses. Now, mind you, she talked about this is a shot glass. This is the size cup of vodka, nothing else, that she gave the both of us. And so I had that damn.
Oh,
I had that glass of vodka, I had a slow sip because, baby. Anyhow, I had my little bit of vodka, and then the next thing I was like, oh, I have to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. So I run to the bathroom, and I had on, some of my Sunday's finest stockings. And
not stockings.
Yes, child, it was cold. So I had on my, my Sunday's finest stockings, a little tight situation, so I could keep my legs warm that day. And I'm sitting upon the throne, as some of us like to call it, and I proceeded to take care of my business and fell off that goddamn toilet.
Oh dear.
Head first into the wall and into her little shelf thing. And so I have a knot right here. So you want to know why I'm dry this December? It's because I done bust my head. I ain't never did that. I have never fallen, never really stumbled, none of the things. Okay. I am a good time drunk. Now, granted, I did get up and was laughing my ass off, and she was sitting out there on the couch like, did you fall? Did you fall off the toilet?
Yeah, and did.
Yes, almost unalived myself in that damn bathroom.
Even put on so much as a lip gloss. Wow.
Girl, it's all right. We are holding this together with string and bubble gum. It's gonna be all right.
Yeah, we are.
So,
my current piece is just gonna be.
Child, you okay? So after all of that, let's get into the mess, shall we? Pop culture time. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I'm gonna do a little sharing of the screens. Oh Lord, and Lord bless it. It's gonna be all right in Jesus'
Oh
name.
dear.
We
Okay.
gonna find the things. All right, can you see that on your screen over there?
No.
What are you seeing?
You.
Girl, what? I don't understand what you know what, girl? This technology today is not. No, we can't leave the site, girl. We in the middle of this live. All right, so sis, boom. We just won't do that today. We just gonna talk about these topics, okay?
Let's do it.
So right out of the gate, the first story up is that of Love and Marriage DC, and
Yeah.
Monique is out of the show. Talk to us about that, Kim.
Well, I mean, you can pin my comment. I just added a reality recap comment. Yeah, I mean, I just heard that she and Chris would not be returning, and all the promo videos that I've seen so far have just been the other two couples. No Chris or Monique Samuels anywhere in the mix. And yeah, they're gone, I think. And I've heard, I don't know if it's been confirmed yet. I think I did go to I went to Clifton's Instagram to see if it had been confirmed, but the Ready to Love couple in DC, Clifton and Joy, who we have a video on, they are together and apparently getting married, and they're going to be joining Love and Marriage DC. So
Well, all right
that
now.
will be the mix up. I'm curious to see how this is going to play, because actually the other two couples were not interesting at all. I was hoping they would clean house, but especially since the Samuels were gone, and those were the girls that were supposed to be important, so they're gone. So these other two couples are just kind of like, what? Okay, sure.
Child, it is. I am interested to see Clifton and Joy back on our TV because I enjoy their camaraderie and their relationship in general. But like the way things is shaping up, I want to know why the Samuels have left the show. What's really the tea? Because after that information that came out a couple of months ago about them allegedly separating, like. I wonder if that's the thing, and them not wanting to put that on television for their kids to be able to see.
Well, I think that
a little speculation,
wrong, but they didn't look particularly great on this season of Love and Marriage DC. Monique appears to be a person who is very concerned about her appearance and how she looks to the outside world. So I don't get the feeling that this was a good look for them.
I mean, oh well.
And so also, like, let's be honest, Monique wants to have main character energy, but very much does not. And I say that from the beginning. So this show will march on just fine without her. Carlos will get some new girls down to Love and Marriage DC. It might be the two remaining couples. It might be their last season too, honey, because they were not interesting. So Carlos could actually honestly build a show around Clifton and Joy, and I think we would all be even happier. Let's be honest.
I mean, so far I follow both Clifton and Joy on our Instagram, and I noticed that they have been canoodling a lot with the cast of Love and Marriage DC. So they might already be filming with them, and
I'm sure
we just don't know what the tea is.
They're 100% already filming because they're running promo and it's coming out in January. And I know that there isn't that much of a lead for a lot of the shows on OWN. Like they don't do, it's not like a full year out. It might be like 6 months out or 4 to 6 months out, but they're definitely still, they're already filming for sure.
Well, we're going to see how this all turns out. Y'all let us know down in the comments whether or not you'll be watching Love and Marriage DC. And if you have any tea on as to why the Samuels have decided not to join us this season. The next story that I have is...
I want them off my TV, so it's fine. Go ahead.
Oh my God. The next story I have is that GMA debacle. So according to the Washington Post, TJ Holmes and Amy Robach have been having an affair outside of their marriages, and they are both married at this time. But it has been alleged that they separated in the summertime and left their spouses and then continued perusing in their affair. At this time, they have been taken off of the air while the network tries to figure out what they're going to do in their next steps as far as as what statements need to be made or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
There has been no reports coming out of the mouths of TJ nor Amy. So I mean, it is for the best, but I wonder still, like, how they're gonna come back from all of this. Like, how y'all gonna spin that? They
I don't
also
think there
said,
is a spin. I think they're gonna let the heat calm down, and then that's gonna be that on that. I mean, you can go back and say that they were, canoodling while they were still married, which, okay, sure, but they're both separated. They're going to get a divorce. They'll probably
it's alleged that they are separated. Together. It is not factual. Because so in the report separated. That I got from Washington Post, it just says that sources are saying that they are separated from their spouses, and they did so in the summertime. But
okay, okay, so I'm going to bring in some background from, the doll who we love, Demetria. She was basically saying that it's a year separation in New York too, just like it is in Virginia. So it's not like they can just go run to the courthouse and get divorced. So
facts. But even she said that it's still messy to be out here, following all along with someone new and you are still married. So yeah,
but I mean, I think the rules when you're separated get tricky. That's how I think about it.
I don't disagree.
And especially, yeah, there are some messy elements to that story, lots and plenty. But yeah, that's not. I wasn't interested in it before, and I'm not interested in it now. So.
Well, the one upside is that they are not in violation of any company policy at this time. Yeah. So we're just kind of waiting to see what GMA decides to do, and what their statements will be, if any.
Yeah.
So the last thing I had was just something that was funny, because our technical difficulties are not working. You won't be able to see it here on YouTube, but I will post it to Instagram so that you all can see it. It's just a light take on the foolishness that's going on with Balenciaga. So let's get into
Balenciaga is they are a troll. They've been trolling, and the troll came back to bite. So,
I mean, what
are you gonna do? All right, go ahead. Where you want to start? Real Housewives of Potomac or Love and Marriage Huntsville?
Child, let's get Love and Marriage Huntsville out of the way, because you girls have been missing in action. I think I'm only caught up to maybe I have one more episode to watch.
Okay, I'm caught up. I will say this about Love and Marriage Huntsville. I mean, I guess we can go kind of couple by couple and talk about what's been going on. Well, we don't really have to even go couple by couple, because there's only two things going on really on the show, and that's Kimmi and Maurice. Kimmi has, announced that she has been diagnosed with a very aggressive form of breast cancer. And yeah, she's undergoing pretty extensive treatment, it seems. I thought it was really interesting that how Maurice was talking when he was talking to Marceau about the fact that he had forced Kimmi to. Did you get to this part?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that he had forced her to try to get into real estate, and it caused her insurance to lapse and caused her to cancel a mammogram, probably or possibly the one that could have caught the breast cancer. So a little bit sooner, but she said that she caught it in stage 2. The treatment is aggressive, and the prognosis so far is pretty good. So
I ain't gonna lie to you. So a couple of weeks ago, I did my own little reality recap, and I think I was mostly talking about the announcement that she made, where she told us about the breast cancer. I'm not gonna lie to you. Going through these scenes and watching everybody have their feels and their emotions about what is happening has brought up some memories and some, like, just a little bit of sadness for me, because, like I said at the top of the show today, today is the 13th anniversary of my aunt's homegoing. So, like, watching them go through this process, it just makes me remember all the things that we were going through, because my aunt was someone who suffered from having breast cancer, and then the complications thereafter of, like, the treatment and everything did a lot to her body.
I definitely was triggered as well, not having lost an aunt to breast cancer specifically, but having lost one to cancer.
Yeah.
Definitely was very, very triggered, and I'm already very, triggered in general at this moment. So,
Wow.
yeah, it was a lot, and watching her cut her hair was like, it was unexpectedly emotional for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, like it was so much caught in it, like so much more wrapped into it, because as a person who has, my hair is probably, when it's straightened, about as long as Kimmy's, if not a little bit shorter, but it's about as long as Kimmy's. And thinking about how Black women, and how we have had so many fights with our hair, and have fought so hard, a lot of us, to be able to even
Mm-hmm.
wear it in its natural state, and to grow long pretty hair like that. And it's like, it's an emotional thing to even get to that point, and then to have to cut it off, or to either cut it off or watch it fall out. It was very emotional for me. I cried watching her do that. Just the thought of it was just like, wow. And also the thought that, like, listen, sorry to be morbid. Hopefully this doesn't trigger anybody too much, but we're all gonna go one way or the other. So it's like,
Yeah.
I know a lot of people go, via the cancer, and it's like, it's just sad, and it was just very, like, it sent me down a road, especially being, emotionally vulnerable right now. So yeah, it was tough.
Yeah, I'll second that, and we can move right on along, because what I
Yeah.
said while watching said episode is, y'all ain't finna get me again. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna distract myself.
And I'll just link
Um,
Deja's reaction above in the comments there.
Thanks, friend.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so watching Maurice sit down with Marceau though, and like having the other side of the conversation, like as women, it's one thing when we are supporting someone going through that, but it I never thought about like what her son would have felt like, because my cousin ended up inadvertently missing a lot of what we saw firsthand, because we were, my aunt were like, well, they're girls and da da da. So, but just to see like Marceau and Maurice both visibly emotional about it, understandably, like when you lose a loved one, you will be emotional, but it's just a different take on it, and it's just, I kind of skipped right through that. I ain't gonna lie to you, I couldn't take it.
I appreciated it because, like you said, watching men go through that, and seeing them be like, we have often talked about how irritating Maurice and Marceau are in their, like, just chauvinism, and they're just so patriarchal and very, to see them like at least have a safe space with each other, and be able to be emotional with each other, was very, very touching. It was very touching.
It was and is that. So
Yeah.
we can wrap up their little segment of this by saying we wish Kimmi the best, and that she is going to recover and do well, and that I hope that everybody in the family is around her and supporting her and loving her and providing her with whatever assistance she may need to ease her through this situation.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So let's move on
Over to
to Mel and Martell and their
debauchery that is
vacation
family
together.
trip.
Yeah. Actually, you know
Yeah.
what? I have given Martell holy hell on this show.
We
If you
all
have
have,
watched
girl.
any of our reality recaps, I have given him absolute hell. And I was really proud of him watching these episodes. He seems like he is growing. And he seems like a person who, I mean, for better or worse, he seems like somebody who realizes that, like, I really effed this up. Like, you can tell that he's still holding out hope that he and Mel will someday get back together. And even coming to her, even though she didn't approach the dinner, one-on-one dinner, all that well, but it was like she was still in fight mode, because that's what Martell has always been bringing to her, of like, well, you didn't do this and you didn't do that, and this is what you did, and this is the reason why I stepped out. And she has always had to endure that energy. And for him to just come to her and be like, I messed up. Like, I should have been more patient. I could have done this better. I should have done blah, blah, blah. I think it caught her off guard. Like, she was ready for the fight. And he was just like, no, wait, let me finish. I'm just saying it doesn't matter. Like, I shouldn't have done what I did. And it was my fault.
Mm-hmm. Hallelujah. Finally. However many seasons later, we didn't got to this point.
Yeah.
The thing that I'll say too is that there was it, understandably old things die hard, and because they constantly were butting heads, it just seems like even though it was a whole lot of peace and a whole lot of growth, they were very much so at the like tippy tip of a fight.
Absolutely. The whole entire time.
Like, God dang, y'all ready to come out swinging.
But I think that's because of where they had been for so long. And I think,
absolutely.
I think Mel had a hard time relaxing into it because she was inviting Martell not knowing what to expect. And I think given their history, that was reasonable of her. That was a reasonable reaction from her. But I did like seeing all of them together. And you know what? Even though I have also given Mel a hard time as well, because I think she is fake. I also think I kind of
the way. Hold on, pause. The way you just finished that sentence, girl.
I do. I think she reminds me of somebody that I've known for a long time who is also similarly incredibly fake, and petty.
I do not disagree with you on that one.
But I will say this: it seems like she is in a space of growth as well. And even in her conversation with Destiny, like she was able to say, like, listen, I'm not in a space right now that I want to be besties. I don't even really want to be friends, but we can be cordial. I can show up to your events. I can come out and support you. And I'm happy to show you how to pose if you want to invite me to your photo shoot or whatever the case may be. But like, I'm in a space right now where I just want an incredible amount of peace. And she has been through a lot. Thinking about her when we first met her, having endured a husband that had been cheating on her already for years. And by the time they even separated, he had a baby on her, literally. Like, I don't know if there was overlap in the actual pregnancies. I'm not sure. But like shortly after she gave birth, that other lady was either pregnant or about to give birth as well. I don't know the age difference, but it's like,
I think them children is project twins.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I'm not sure about the age gap or whatever, but it seems like it was very close proximity, and she just seems like she wants peace and she does not want any smoke. And she is like, listen here, I am not in a space to do that. Like, I will deal with whatever is here. Even with her when Tisha and Marceau came to the house, at first her attitude was very stank, but like once she came around, she was very cordial. They even played a little game together. And she was like, but that does not mean that I am friends with Tisha, nor do I want to be friends with Tisha. I am not interested in a relationship with Tisha. I am cordial for the sake of these relationships and these friendships that we've had for so long in this show, frankly. So I have to respect that.
I'm not mad at her for that either. But the funny thing is, as you were talking about like her being fake and like all the things that kind of go along with it, I'm wondering too now, after reconsidering, what is her name? Zen Wen. After reconsidering Zen Wen, I'm wondering too, like, you know what, maybe there should be some grace applied to Mel, in the sense that she too also got married super duper young, and then kind of was a mother, a wife, and a business owner, all before she was in her 30s. I think, I want to say that they established the second business that Martell had outside of Skolt was like definitely in the marriage with her and in partnership with her early on, like getting her to transition out of being a school teacher. So that to me also lends to the idea that there's growing that needs to be done on both sides, because they were so young. They didn't really have time to really get to redefine or establish themselves as adults and what they wanted to present to the world and how they wanted to show up in their relationships. So even though, by the way,
we have a video on Wendy SFO in this whole, I'll link it above in the cards, but go ahead.
on top of things. um, but yeah, like it just makes me kind of have more grace for her. And even
Yeah.
like, so we had a commenter post on our Wendy conversation, and she even said that there were times in reference to Wendy that she had pointed out like how she grew up and what her culture was, and that those things basically conveyed that she didn't get a chance to really define herself or get to know who she was as a woman, let alone, you know, a wife and now a mother and all these things. I don't know. I feel like sometimes what I said to our commenter was like, sometimes, you know, like perception is reality, and things that everybody sees things differently. So in this instance, having found grace for Zen Win, I feel like we could find grace for Mel as well.
No, I totally agree with you. And when I was watching it, as much as I had felt like sometimes she was fake, and sometimes I still think she is fake, I think that's like her version of like, I want peace more than anything else. I can interact with people in the moment and I keep peace. And hey. And you know, I can keep peace in my home, and I can be laughing and joking with y'all and still not want y'all at my house, still not want to talk to y'all when we're not recording. And I think that's her way of setting boundaries. It does come off as kind of fake sometimes,
Oh no,
but
I agree. I totally understand that.
I think it's her setting boundaries. And I felt like I got a clearer picture of that this episode with her interactions with Martell. And I was like, okay. And even with Tisha and stuff, like she was very clear, like, look, and Destiny too, of like, look, I am okay. I don't necessarily have to be in a relationship with these people, but I am okay and I'm happy. And this is how I want to live my life. And that's that on that. And I get it, because I'm like that too, child. Because I cannot like you and still be, you know, sometimes the moment requires it.
Only time that I've ever really been able to do that and do it well is just in work settings. I feel like that's where I learned it the most, to be honest. Because I'm not going to ever put myself in the position to be around someone that I don't like, and I also know that does not like me. It just don't work out.
I agree with you to a certain extent, but I think like there are times where you have to, in friend groups especially, I'm thinking, or if you have a friend and you're showing up for one friend, but you know these other people are going to be there that you don't care for, it's like, I'm still going to show up for my friend, even though I don't necessarily care for those people, but I can still speak and be cordial or whatever and show up for my friend and, you know, be in and out. So
I felt by the grace of God, I ain't never had to have that experience. Thank you, Father. I'm gonna knock on some wood and keep it pushing.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like you said, it's definitely work, but I've definitely experienced it in friend circles too. So, you know, it is what it is. I don't like it, but I'm different in that way because I'm very like, I'm clear-eyed about the fact that I don't like everybody. Everybody doesn't like me, and I'm okay, perfectly okay with that. Like I am an acquired taste, and I'm the first person to say that. So,
I love that. All right, let's go on into our last show of this here episode because baby, I've not watched anything else. So you go ahead, you start first with the girls over there at Potomac.
I'm gonna just say really quick about Potomac. I don't like how this season is going. It's just, if you've watched our reality recaps, I am a lover of light shade. I am a lover of funny moments. I am a lover of a bit of mess. But it is just getting down and dirty and nasty, and I don't like it. I think everybody is just going too far. Physical assault, obviously. People are running their mouths too much. Candace.
But that's always her MO. That is the card and role she plays on this show.
It's too much. And now Ashley is also in the mix because I haven't forgotten. I know a lot of people have forgotten and have given Ashley an incredible amount of grace since she's had those 2 children by that man, that nasty man. But I ain't forgot. Candace and Ashley are cut from the exact same cloth. They're both vile, and I find both of them to be too much. They go too far all the time.
I won't disagree with you on that one.
So, and that's
I think
how come I know that at least for me, I don't know for everybody else and what they're seeing as far as the colorism is concerned, but as far as me in my heart, I know it's not colorism because I don't like Ashley either. I think she's the same as Candace. And I think Wendy is unlikable still. Even though I have compassion for her, I think she's still not that likable. So,
I mean, you ain't wrong. So for me, this here season, it's just a whole lot of fabricated mess.
it is.
And like
Hey,
some
hey,
episodes was funny. Hey girl. Some episodes was funnier in the like early on of the start of the season. And now it's just like we looking for like the mess. We're gonna create the drama. Like especially the scene at the dinner table last night when Robin comes with the damn
right.
Robin comes with the damn speaker, pops it in the middle of the table, plays this whole thing that Candiachi said about everybody. And understandably so. I think that you had every right to be upset about it, Robin. I also feel like if you feel so strongly about having had a relationship with this woman, you could have pulled her to the side because whether you want to admit that shit or not, that you did ambush her at that table. Because basically now she has to deal with the opinions of everyone at this table, in addition to you being on 10.
Yeah. Also, Candiache is a liar because she definitely was talking about Karen with Ashley, and Bravo had the receipts.
Oh. So when I got home yesterday, I only saw like the last 30 minutes of the show. So you want to fill us in. What was said?
Well, they were arguing at the table, and Ashley was kind of, I forget what the context was, but anyways, Ashley was kind of telling Candace, like, yeah, well, you said this about Karen. And she was just kind of like, no, I didn't. And then Bravo had the receipts of her talking to Ashley, telling Ashley that Karen had been out with other people. So,
yes.
Yeah. But yes, I don't like anybody this season. I like you know me, I like to have a team. I like to know who I am rooting for. I
still love Karen.
I like Karen. Karen's about the only person that is not on my list this season. Wendy and that fight with Mia and Wendy was ridiculous.
And still Wendy, ridiculous to be dragging on at this point.
It is. Wendy, I honestly didn't think what Wendy said warranted Mia's reaction. I really didn't. And I think Wendy talks greasy just like Candace. But I don't think that was warranted because literally she was just like, why do you care about me checking in with another man? And like, I thought that was a fair question. Like, and Patricia Thomas is always going to find
somebody else's business.
Patricia Peter Thomas is always going to find his way into women's business, as Mimi said.
I mean, you ain't telling no lies there. But the dumb part about it is that even though he was in it, but he wasn't in it. Like all the fighting and the carrying on happened between Mia and damn Wendy because Mia decided to take a nugget of something and run off the cliff with it.
Agreed. I agree with you on that. Yes, we stand for Karen too, Ray. Absolutely. And no, Robin does not care. But listen, I didn't think that was called for. The whole icing Wendy out, I don't like that because it's like, girl, stupid. Y'all fight all the time. And then Robin and Candiache hollering at each other in the car last night after they left Mango's, which funny that they were at Mango's. I was like, that's Mango's? I have not been to Mango's in like 6 trillion years at this point, but I had a friend.
Go, friend.
We'll see. I had one friend who really liked going to Mango's, like literally when I first moved down here. So I would go with her and her friends or whatever. But it's just like, it's like one of those, when you think of like what a Miami, not like a live Miami club is, but like a kitschy, like Miami club is, that's what Mango's is, and that's where they were. So it was funny to me.
Oh, good to know.
It's
Okay.
it's very like touristy and whatever. It's fine. But I was just like, we went to Mango's. Oh my god. But yeah, then they're arguing. Everybody's making up at the club when they're drunk, and then now Candy Ache wants to have a meltdown and argue with Robin in the car on the way back. So it was just a lot, and like from the previews, it seems like it's going to continue to be a lot. I like clean alliances. I don't like all of this. Everybody throwing everybody under the bus. It's not fun to watch for me. I like to have a team.
No. The other thing too is like the funny thing this episode, Giselle pointed out that Candiachi was crying and then she like snapped out of the fake tears and was like ready for the read. But it's just like,
Candiachi is
girl,
a
if
white
you
woman. I'm sorry. I stand by it. She was a white woman inside.
I am down. I can't with you. Oh my god.
She loves nothing more than running that mouth of hers and then crying and acting like she is the victim because all I did was talk. Why would you? People don't know how to use their words. No, you are vile. I was getting ready to call her out. You are vile. And I'll stand by it. And that ain't no colorism. That's me saying that you're a nasty human being.
I mean, well, that's that on that. This particular episode that we just watched last night, I don't see how they're gonna keep going forward. I feel like this was the beginning of the end, and then it's gonna be like a clear divide between like Karen and Wendy and Candy. Well, hell, maybe the two of them won't be mixing because Karen was real mad last night.
Big mad.
Real mad. I don't think I've ever seen Karen be that type of pissed off and like walk off and like storm into the bathroom. Mm-hmm. So I'm not gonna lie to you. As a Karen stan, I was mad as hell that she didn't have nobody there to like hold her back, so to speak, like be her support system.
Let me say this. I did like Candy Ache and Wendy when they met up and they did the little whatever that slither was. That was a cute moment. I wish we saw Wendy more like that more often.
Oh, I didn't see that. I don't know what she's talking about.
They were after they left the studio with Trina when she was doing her remix or whatever. Candy Ache was doing her remix. They were talking about like slithering. You know how how Karen said that Wendy was like slithering down the stairs.
Oh, so yeah.
They both were like slithering down. I was like, that's so cute. Like, why can't we see y'all like that? Why we always have to see y'all cutting up and doing the most?
Fussing and fighting and carrying on. Yeah. But yeah, I just don't, this is just turning out to be messy. And then also like one thing, and I heard this, I thought this, but then watching another YouTuber, shout out to Rox, it's Rox over on YouTube. She also said that she was just like, you can't tell me that they're not paying them to put on the best show ever. Like that this is acting on a new level because none of this shit was real. And she was talking about specifically, I guess, being at that table and how it just started going around, like everybody had to have something to say. And it was just kind of like in that moment, the thing about whatever Ashley had said is I missed it, but it was enough to like, oh, well, yeah, and to your point, they are two sides of the same fucking coin, Candy Ashley and Ashley.
Absolutely.
Because it was like, girl, why are we here? Why are you interjecting with like negativity? You and Candace have been getting along so far on this trip, and now all of a sudden here you come with some BS. Like, come on, girl.
Yeah. So I think what happened, I could be wrong. After I love Carlos King's show. I love getting the background on the girls. So he had an episode, of course, with Giselle Kobe Bryant, as he calls her, and talking about how she is like this force multiplier. And I just think everybody is trying to be out Giselle almost. And just starting up a bunch of mess, but they aren't doing it with any charisma. I think that's Giselle's like greatest strength, that she knows how to like get the mess going with some class and with some like charisma about the situation. And everybody else is everybody else is just starting fires everywhere, just start a fire, and it's too much. Like it's like basically you just need you need a breather. And even Robin is usually the breather. And Robin's not even the breather. She's the one that's getting the party started.
It's like this season.
Honestly,
like, what is going on?
Honestly, the way these last few episodes have been going, Giselle has been looking like, I mean, I know she is a part of the mess, but she has been looking almost like, not the peacekeeper, but she has been looking considerably less messy than a lot of the stuff that they've been doing these last couple episodes. And when Giselle is not at the top of the mess heap, that's a problem.
Period. I feel like there's not much else to say about that.
Nobody wants to be the breather. Everybody wants to be the star. And it's just like, Jesus Christ, people.
Everybody can't do that.
Too much. And I think that's why yeah, I think that's why we enjoy Karen to a certain extent, is because Karen is just like getting her little quick jokes off and for the most part trying to stay out of the mess. And I love that for her.
And cracking her own self up in the process. And cracking her own self up. And us too.
You know, I love the moment on at her birthday dinner or whatever, where they were talking about their favorite Karen moments. And you know, the wig shift and all of that stuff. Like, she's just a good time. She's just a good time. And I miss more people on reality TV just being a good time instead of always being the one to try to start mess and trying to get more in the mix.
And trying to hold up a facade so that you can, like, look a certain way on TV. Like, if that ain't who you are, we're going to eventually peep that, because they were
have a storyline,
hours of footage. Like, come on, cuz. But so
everybody doesn't need a storyline. Some people can just be a friend of. Even Mia's friend is trying to get a storyline. It's like, girl, just be a friend of. And let's keep moving.
That's what I was going to say. Like, all of a sudden, like, there was a point when after the speaker and Robin thing, the two of them start going back and forth, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, what is happening?
Y'all don't even need a moment. Neither one of y'all.
Like, girl, you just got here. Just sit there and be beautiful and be a supporting character to your homegirl, and like, don't say nothing, because you don't have no beef. You don't have no dog in this fight. And then not only that, but your friend is not beefing with her directly. So like, what the hell are you talking about, boo? Just sit there, be quiet.
Just sit there and be quiet. You need a couple people to have a couple of big, issues in the season. Draw some clear alliances. Let me get on a team and let's move on with our lives. I don't want everybody starting we don't need little fires everywhere. We don't need it. We don't.
So y'all, that's a wrap on this, because we have not watched anything else. Please get down in the comments if you are watching the replay or both, either Instagram or YouTube. Lord, I can't get these words together. Drop down in the comments and let us know what you're watching and what we should tune into so that we can have something new to add to this reality recap next week. And
I think a lot of the shows are on pause, but we'll definitely have Ready to Love back in Miami in January. So.
Oh, Lord bless it. Well, all right then. I can't stand you, friend. Get out of here.
Oh, gosh. Anyways.
All right, friend.
Like, comment, and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Thank you for, watching as well on IG. And we'll talk to y'all next week.
Peace out, friends.
Bye.
All right. And...